What I'll be showing today will be the supersets versus the circuits feature on the build aspect. So when I select a calendar that I want to go in or in a program that I want to go into on the build feature, if I wanted to do a circuit, that would be an option to choose and will be denoted by an orange icon with a couple different arrows kind of circling together. You can either search for it within the exercises right here from the database as they are all pooled together in any fashion, or I can simply go to this dumbbell icon right here, go to the circuits, and then I can select whichever circuit I wish to use. So if I wanted to go, for example, right here on this 25-minute AMRAP and add that on there, I can simply grab it and add that to that day. This will then allow them to have however many rounds, and I'll be looking for in this section here how many sets were completed possible. I can also add an additional property if I wish to. However, all the athlete will be denoting is how many sets they completed during this aspect of the workout. If you're looking to have a little bit more data from each individual exercise, that's when we would want to use the superset feature. So when building that out, I would go into add a new exercise. And for example here, if I said a bench press, and if we did a barbell bench press right here, we may want to add and say 3 sets of 5. I can add my property, whether it be percent of PR or a specific load. We'll say for a percent of PR, we can add that in here on that 3x5 at 75%. Once it's been added, I can add that in. Then I want to superset that with a dumbbell row. So if I wanted to come in and do a dumbbell row with it, I simply can say, again, 3 sets. Maybe we'll go 10 to 12 reps. And I'm going to add that on there. Now there's 2 different options that we can do in order to make this a superset. If you notice when I go to highlight to edit an exercise, or when I'm adding it, you can go to this A1 button here and create a superset. So that's how I would do one way of doing it. I want to make this part of my A block, and I've added that in there. And then again, we have the dumbbell row. I can either go to the A1 and create a superset by putting this as an A, or I can simply click the icon, drag it, and as that highlights over that barbell bench press, you'll see that they both kind of get a little grayed out, and that will create a new superset by dragging and dropping together. And this would be the option that I would want to use if I was looking for a little bit more intricate data on the actual loads performed for each exercise, whereas the circuit option, again, if I look at this AMRAP, it's only going to be the number of sets completed. So I'll add this both onto the calendar, and if I go into an athlete's icon, if I go into either the weight room view or the workout entry, we'll use workout entry for example, and I go to Rocky Balboa. As I move through and I find that day that I was doing, you'll see that there's going to be an option instead of having that AMRAP on there, they'll have just the number of total sets, whereas a superset may come through more so onto an action where they're entering their total data.